In a development that many NFL observers were keenly watching, Atlanta Falcons quarterback Kirk Cousins is reportedly present for the team's mandatory minicamp, which began Tuesday. This news comes via Tom Pelissero of NFL Network. This attendance was anticipated, as Diana Rossini of The Athletic reported on Monday that the Falcons were expecting Cousins to be there. Had he chosen to skip the mandatory sessions, he would have faced fines for each day missed. The backdrop to this, of course, is a complex quarterback situation in Atlanta. Cousins, who signed a massive 4-year, $180 million contract with the Falcons prior to the 2024 season, is projected to be the backup to second-year quarterback Michael Penix Jr. in 2025. This, coupled with a significant contract and his own desire to be a starter, has made Cousins a prominent name in trade rumors throughout this offseason. Last season, before being benched for Penix Jr. late in the year, Cousins threw for 3,508 yards with 18 touchdowns and 16 interceptions. While his performance wasn't disastrous, it clearly wasn't enough for Falcons to avoid drafting a successor high in the draft and eventually making the switch. It's also important to note the structure of Cousins' contract. There's a potential out in his deal after the 2025 season, meaning his long-term future with the Falcons, even if he remains this year, is far from guaranteed beyond the upcoming campaign. So, what does his presence at minicamp signify? At the very least, it shows a level of professionalism and adherence to his contractual obligations. It doesn't necessarily quell the trade rumors, however. He could still serve as a high-priced, experienced backup for Penix Jr., providing a valuable insurance policy. Alternatively, as the season draws nearer and training camps progress, he could still emerge as a trade solution for a team that suddenly finds itself with a quarterback crisis due to injury or underperformance. His presence keeps all options on the table for now. What are your thoughts on Kirk Cousins attending the Falcons minicamp? Do you think this signals he's more likely to stay in Atlanta for the 2025 season, or is a trade still inevitable? And what's the best path forward for both Cousins and the Falcons? Let us know your opinions in the comments below. The Kirk Cousins saga in Atlanta continues to be a fascinating storyline, and participation in minicamp is just the latest chapter. Could a reunion be in the cards for Kyle Pitts and his former head coach, Arthur Smith? Reports suggest that Smith, now the offensive coordinator for the Pittsburgh Steelers, might be keen on bringing the talented tight end to his new-look offense, potentially pairing him with their recently acquired quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. Arthur Smith, of course, was a head coach in Atlanta when the Falcons made Kyle Pitts the highest-drafted tight end in NFL history. Now, with Smith calling the plays in Pittsburgh, his current team has reportedly reached out to the Falcons about a potential trade for Pitts. This news comes from NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport, who mentioned on Good Morning Football that the Steelers, fresh off reportedly signing Aaron Rodgers to a 1-year deal, are actively looking to bolster their offensive weapons. They're also eyeing tight ends, Rappaport stated. Kyle Pitts, we had a phone call. The Steelers are looking for at least one more playmaker. Pitts, now 24 and entering the final season of his rookie contract, a 5th-year tight end, has been a hot topic in trade speculation recently. His absence from the Falcons' early OTA sessions due to a reported foot strain only added to the chatter. It's clear that teams like the Steelers are making inquiries, and the Falcons are, at the very least, listening. However, don't expect Atlanta to part ways with their former 4th overall pick easily. Many insiders are skeptical that a deal will materialize. Sports Illustrated's Albert Breer wrote on Wednesday, "I'm just not sure I see a match at this point. This feels to me like the kind of story that only gains traction in June. At this point, the discussion probably isn't worth the oxygen people are giving it." ESPN's Adam Schefter echoed this sentiment on the Adam Schefter podcast. While he acknowledged that the Falcons might be tempted if a team offered a high price, Schefter speculated a 3rd-round pick. He doesn't believe Atlanta is actively shopping Pitts. "There's no trade close on the horizon," Schefter said. "I think the Falcons will continue to entertain offers, but it's going to be a difficult deal to make." Schefter ultimately doesn't foresee any team offering enough to pry Pitts away from Atlanta. It's worth noting that Arthur Smith has a history of bringing familiar faces with him. Since joining the Steelers, he's brought over several former Falcons, including running back Cordarrelle Patterson, tight end Michael Pruitt, who is no longer with Pittsburgh, and receivers Van Jefferson and Scotty Miller. The Steelers have also reportedly been in trade discussions with the Miami Dolphins regarding tight end Jonnu Smith, who played for the Falcons under Arthur Smith in 2023. In Arthur Smith's final year as head coach in Atlanta, 3 tight ends, Pitts, Jonnu Smith, and Pruitt, all had at least 3 receptions, indicating his desire to utilize the position. So, while Arthur Smith seems interested in adding another one of his former tight ends to Aaron Rodgers' Arsenal in Pittsburgh, Kyle Pitts doesn't appear to be the most likely candidate to make the move, despite the initial phone call. What are your thoughts? Should the Steelers make a serious push for Kyle Pitts? And what would it take for the Falcons to actually trade him? Let us know your opinions in the comments below.